Act 3 of Expedition 33 left me feeling so disappointed that ever since I finished the game, I just could not get it out of my head on how many different ways they could write Act 3 and how easy it actually was to follow up from Act 2. And somehow they just fumbled the bag. I know a lot of people watching this video enjoyed the game a lot. Me too, but you can't just sit there and pretend like Act 3 was not the weakest part by far. That's why I'm here to articulate why exactly Act 3 hit as weak as it did for so many people and what could have been done to avoid it. In my previous video, I went over Act 3 and my problems with it. So in this video, I'll follow the flaws I already talked about, offer solutions, and sprinkle in my version of how the direction of the game's story could go instead of how it actually went. Let's start from the main problem.
So you were her daughter? And you were a paintress too?
So cool, right?
This scene needs to go. There's no ifs and buts. It has to completely be redone. Because what do you mean? Oh, so you're a paintress too. Like the paintress wasn't the single reason your people have been suffering and dying for 100 years. And now it's so cool, right? Now, there's two ways to go about this. Either Lune plays it cool, and after camp the next day she grabs Ciel and leaves, or she has to crash out right then and there the exact same way she did with Verso, but with Mael instead. Either way it plays out, the end result has to be the same. It has to end with Lune and Ciel separating from Mael and Verso, and Lune has to come up with a plan or some sort of technology or anything to try and bring everyone else back the same way Mael did. If Gustav could make a Lumina converter, then Lune could do something to try and figure it out. It would be better than whatever else we got with Mael's "it's old chrome, I'm not pure" bullshit. I'd believe Lune trying to figure out how the whole reviving thing works any day of the week compared to the slop we got. So that has to be Lune's and Ciel's mission from then on. You can retcon the whole old chroma not pure shit and make Lune realize it, just like she did when she came back, but instead let her keep it to herself and actually use it to revive people, and not make an undead lich army or whatever Mael did. From there, it could go anywhere really. Lune could try to bring the rest of the expeditioners to life, retake Lumiere and seek refuge there, plotting something against the invaders to kick them out of their world, to seal the painting so no one else can enter, or even create like a barrier or something around Lumiere, so when Renoir or Verso eventually destroy the painting, the town will be safe, and they could start like quote-unquote repainting the rest of the world with their newfound knowledge and technology. Literally anything else. And that could be one of 3 endings. Yes, there should be 3 endings, not 2, because this game, during the final scene, forgot one teeny tiny little thing. The player. You, as a player, have been following this world's expedition for the longest time, not Mael's and Verso's family feud. The characters that matter to you are Lune, Ciel, and Gustav, the actual Expedition 33. The people who want to liberate their world from extinction. That's what kept you hooked. And don't lie to yourself and say that it didn't. That's why you, the player, deserve a conclusive ending for the people of Lumiere, and not just Verso and Mael. Speaking of those two, now we can move on to how Verso's story could have went. There's not really a specific scene that retcons Verso, more so his actions. The only reason Verso could even do what he did in the main story is because Lune and Ciel were stupid enough to trust Verso again, or whatever it is that they did. I don't even know at this point. So in this version, that obviously can't happen. So after Lune and Ciel leave, Verso, Monaco, and Esquier should do the same, because they have no reason, well, maybe except for Esquier, he can kind of do whatever he wants, but they have no reason to help Mael. And I know there'll be some schmuck going on about, oh, they kept them together for gameplay purposes. So what, you're telling me playing as Lune and Ciel and I don't know, maybe even a resurrected Gustav as a separate group wouldn't be cool? Verso and Monaco as a duo separately wouldn't be cool? Or playing Mael as a solo, literally erasing her enemies, wouldn't be way cooler and maybe, you know, and actually doable from a gameplay perspective? It has nothing to do with gameplay limitations. So Verso basically should stay the same as a character, but instead of contradicting his intentions with actions, he would actually go his separate way and try to figure out what he should do. He'd be in a pretty brutal predicament. His sister, quote unquote, is still in the painting. His dad, quote unquote, is still trying to erase the world, and now the expeditioners whose trust you just destroyed are also trying to survive. So I think it makes the most sense for Verso to have the most overlap with other groups. You know, it would make sense for him to run into Lune and Ciel, and instead of Lune being all, Verso, you motherfucker, she could actually be the mature genius that she is and tell Verso, you know what? I still don't trust you, but I'd rather you, aka one of us, to stay instead of whoever the fuck Renoir and Mael actually are. Because remember, Verso is painted just like them. He's closer to what Lune and Ciel are than these aliens, right? From their point of view. Verso could also encounter Mael and have their little conflicted, awkward sibling moment, because they're not really siblings. And at the end, he'd encounter Renoir where they actually realize that they're on the same fucking side and have them work together instead of against each other. Now in this scenario, Verso could actually have different endings himself. He could either accept getting erased by Renoir by the end of it, or he could fight Renoir afterwards to kick him out of the painting so that he wouldn't erase everyone else. I don't know, maybe he'd go back to Lumiere and start a new life there once the painting is sealed from outside interference, of course. I don't know. They could kind of go anywhere from there. Now on to Mael. We can keep Mael as this delusional girl addicted to sniffing paint and being blinded by everything because of it. But this time, she'd have to face all her problems alone. Would play as her alone, and her quest for protecting the painting and tracking down Renoir actually has to be a journey and not a time skip. While we're playing as her, it'd be cool to see her remember all the details of Verso's painting or something and basically show her looking at this world in a completely different point of view. And for plot convenience, we could say SKA is fine being used by all three groups, you know, not like it'd go against his character or anything, so it should be fine. As for Mael's ending, it would be pretty fitting and realistic for her to end up as who Aline was this whole time, a grieving paintress trying to keep the last piece of her loved one's soul, while the other, who in this case could be maybe even Verso, would be trying to erase everything for her. So it'd be an ending that would basically circle back to how things were in the beginning, be a cycle of never-ending homage once again. So in that way, Mael would still have a bad ending, keeping true to the original. So all in all, my point is that Act 3 could have been so much more, and we got so much less instead. If you like this type of video, make sure to subscribe, like it. I have more videos coming in the following days, so make sure you don't miss it. Till next time, thanks guys.